Problem solving is a very important skill that no one can be able to despise it or look down on it. If you are unable to solve problems, it simply means that you are not living to your purpose, and you are irrelevant and useless or even worthless. Welcome. This is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say inawezekana. If this is your first time being here, we encourage you to hit the subscriber button such that every time when you upload a new video, YouTube will be able to notify you. My name is John Kimani. Welcome. This is a leadership class, and we continue learning about problem solving. Remember, we began by justifying that it is very important for each one of us to be a problem solver. Don't become a problem creator, because there are enough problems around, so we do not need to create more problems. If you don't want to be out of job, if you want to gain job very quickly, then it is very paramount that you become a problem solver. Now, last week we talked about the traits of problem solving, and by the way, you can always visit our YouTube channel, that is Marketplace Media, and please just watch those videos. You will learn more about them, and please remember to give a thumbs up on these videos. Like and comment and tell us where you're watching us from. Remember, we are live on Facebook, John Kimani, and on Marketplace Media, both on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome. Now, today, allow us to continue with the discussion and discuss the types of problem solvers. It is very important for us to understand what kind of problem solvers are we. Remember, there are many ways of killing a cat. Some people kill a cat by strangling it, others by throwing it into a seas, others by killing it, by hitting it with a sharp object, others just starving it to death. These are all methods of killing the cat. And so when it also comes into problem solving, then there are various ways in which people adapt themselves to solving problems. And we are going to, as we look at the way they solve problems, we shall be able to look at ourselves and examine ourselves and ask ourselves, what kind of problem solvers are you? Because it is not more of how you solve your it is not about how you solve your problems that really matters, but are you solving problems? But the discussion here today is all about how do you solve problems. Now, among the scholars, there are no agreed list, as in there are various ways. There are some who classify them to 2, others into 3, others to 4, some even 6. Because I want to give an impartial and I want to give you an all-round kind of a discussion in this class, I'm going to present to you 3, 4, and 5 types. Now, let's begin with Harvard Business Review that are actually favors 4 types. And I'm going to dwell a lot in this, and so I would encourage you to please be ready, pick up the most important things that you feel are important in your life. And the reason why I'm presenting this lesson, types of decision makers or styles or types of decision makers, is so that to invite you, so that you can look at yourself and be able to say what kind of a decision maker are you. Very, very important. If you're able to pinpoint at the end of this classroom and be able to say, I am this kind of a decision maker, this is my type, this is my style, I'll have achieved my goal. Now, the first one, according to Harvard Business Review, is what they call analytical problem solvers. Analytical problem solvers. These ones actually, as the word goes, would actually approach their problems or any problem that comes their way in a systematic and logic ways. That means they have a very strong analytical skills where they identify the relationship between different variables. For example, if there is a dry spell, they would always ask themselves what happens normally so that we are able to get into a dry spell. Is it because trees are people are cutting down trees, or is it because the sun was hot, or what is it? They would always want to look at the relationship between different variables. If there is high divorce rate within a certain village, they would always look what is the relationship. Is it that there is a lot of social media, or is it that pastors or preachers or religious figures are not preaching about morality? If we talk about depravity in morals, like for example, there is Airbnb. Why is murder or homicide on the rise? What is it that is happening? The analytical decision maker would want to look at the relationship between those different variables, and because they are gifted mathematicians, they are able to see the problem from multiple perspectives. So they not only see problems from one-sided perspective, but they are able to see the problem from multiple perspectives. And the beautiful thing about them is that they are very calm, they are level-headed, even when things are going helter-skelter. They are normally very calm and level-headed because they really want to see the relationship between the different variables, as we've already said. They work methodically, they are very systematic. They break problems down into smaller pieces, and they approach those problems individually. Okay, and because of such kind of an approach, normally these offers, they come up with very innovative solutions that some other people that you're going to consider, some other styles, might have not considered. And the beautiful thing is that they are also very good in communication. The ideas, they communicate those ideas very clearly and in a very persuasive manner, and so you can imagine these are very valuable team members. They will never be out of job. So apart from analytic, Harvard would also talk about creative problem solvers. These ones, they would look at a problem and they want to solve it in a creative and innovative manner. They want to think outside the box, and they would want to see the problems from a different perspective. They're very good at looking at the problem from multiple angles. They would want to look at problem from a physical point of view, from a psychological point of view, from a spiritual point of view, from a financial point of view. I mean, they just want to look at the problem from different aspects. And in looking at that, they would want to employ creativity to generate new ideas and approach. For them, they believe any idea that is working needs to be improved. And so they throw out those ideas, or rather they look at those ideas and they ask themselves, which is the best way in which we can make these options a little bit better. So for them, they believe in Kaizen, they believe in improving. So and because creative people employs both left and right brain, and of course that the left brain is more logical, linear, and sequential. It's more of analytical, while the right brain is more intuitive, is non-linear and heuristic. So you can imagine the kind of decisions or the kind of solutions that the birds that they bring out are so good. They are celebrated because they are so innovative. They are out of the box, and you can imagine if it's a problem about sales. Maybe there was a certain line of product was not moving. When you hire a creative kind of a thinker, you can be assured this kind of a problem solver will be able to give a solution that is way out there that everybody will go for it. Number 3, according to Howard, Harvard, is what we call practical problem solving. So we have number 1 analytical, we have creative, and then number 3 we have practical problem solvers. These ones, they just come and look for a practical, a down to earth way of doing things. They just question the common sense, and they have a very strong understanding of how things work, and they will not come and employ a solution or innovate a solution until up to and including the moment when they understand how things work. This leads to the old adage that says, don't pull down a fence until you know why it was put in the first place. So they are able to innovate, they're able to bring on the table very simple solutions to those complex problems. So for them, they would not want to bring something that is complex. They would want to understand, then they bring up a very simple solutions, and of course they will never be out of job. And because they have a very strong understanding of the world around them, they are able to see, again, like creative and analytical, they are able to see the problem from multiple angles and be able to birth a creative or develop a creative solution that others might have actually ignored or assumed. Okay, and we find such people, such problem solvers in engineering world, in business, and in medicine, and they are high in demand because they are able to break down complex issues and find very simple workable solutions. So if it's about the whole issue of communication, if it's about a car, if it's about driving, these are the people that would come with locomotive that are automatic. These are the people we give credit to AI, artificial intelligence. They just help us to be able to write a paper very quickly. AI, they generate a software that is able to put up a book in seconds. These are the people because they are practical. So according to Howard, again, what we have analytical problem solvers, we have creative problem solvers, we have practical problem solvers, and we say they are high in demand. And then number 4, we have what we are calling theoretical problem solvers. These ones approach problem solving from an abstract and theoretical manner. Now, just as the analytical, they are also very good in mathematics, and they have very strong analyzing skills. They're able to look the problem from a multiple perspective, and once they theorize, they are able to come up with a theory because they are able to study the relationship between different causes. They are able to look at the causes, and once they identify the causes, they are able to see the relationship, they are able to spot the patterns, they are able to see the trend, they are able to look back and see how this problem have been progressing and how it has been evolving. They identify those patterns, and then they question the wisdom that is there, the current solutions, and then they are able to come up with an innovative thinking. That is about Harvard. Okay, analytical, creative, practical, and theoretical. Now the category number 2 is done by a guy that we are calling Arvil Beckford. Now Arvil Beckford has actually come up with 5 categories, and here we run the list. Number 1, remember, this is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say inawezekana. If this is your first time being here, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel, Marketplace Media. Please do it. And remember, these days you can come to us for live streaming services. If you have an event, if you have a graduation, an ordination, a burial, a bash, a birthday bash, why are you looking any further? Why don't you talk to Marketplace Media on 0706 566 555 with then that number is on your screen. Please call us. We shall be able to give you those services. Now, Arvil Beckford have 5 categories. Number 5 is inspirers. These are people who have the ability to inspire confidence. Every time when they face a challenge of whichever kind, big or small, complex or simple, one of the things that they do is that they inspire confidence. These are the people that say, inawezekana, tunaweza make, I can do it. These are the people that believes in confidence. They create the hype and the vibe, and they say we can do it. They inspire. They may not really come up with the solutions on how the challenge will be solved. They are very poor at that. But the beautiful thing is that they are able to come into the lives of people and pump a lot of energy and say, I believe there is a way to get around this. Every problem has an expiry date. This too will come. They will tell you they will come up with slogans. You are bigger and greater than this problem. And so they breathe into you possibilities and hope and confidence. These are inspirers, okay? They create the hype. And the problem with them is that they will never come up with a solution. They will never give you a practical solutions to solve the problem. The number 2, according to Avil Beckford, is what we call reflectors. Now, a reflector, when faced with the problem, will actually sit back and not rush. They will take their time. They will go to a retreat. They will think about it, and they will until that time they will get a new perspective. So these ones will engage in thinking. They will read about the problem. They will think. They will ask themselves questions. They will lock themselves in a room. They will lock themselves away and just mull over. They will think about it. And they will write the perspectives, okay? They may cut an image of procrastinators because they do not rush into solving problems. But the beautiful thing is that they are once they give themselves time, they are able to come up with wonderful solutions. But one advice, because they can fall into procrastination, is to help them to keep on thinking. They keep on thinking. You can imagine a boat is capsizing and they are still thinking, how am I going to approach that? Okay. Number 3, so we have inspirers, we have reflectors. Number 3, we have innovators. Innovators, according to Avil Beckford, these are individuals who have unique ability to come up with creative solutions to any challenge or problem that they might encounter. The word is they are able to break out of the box. They come up with innovative, with those solutions that others have never thought. Have you ever gone out there, shared a problem? Maybe it's a financial problem, or maybe it's a marital problem, or whatever kind of a problem that you're having, and somebody just tells you, why have you never thought about doing this? Have you ever considered doing this? And you're like, wow, I've never thought about it. The solutions they might be offering might be entirely new, or it might be branded. It might be an innovation of what exists in the world. Okay. The beautiful thing is that the solutions that they offer are normally fresh. They are very exciting. They are out of the world. They are up to date because they are simply creative. Number 4 is what Avil Beckford calls influencers. Influencers, these are problem solvers. They are expert at getting others to support their cause, and they excel at finding solutions to people, and influencers are very good when it comes to politicians. If you are a politician and you are not this type of a problem solver, you may not really go very far, because influencers are great at getting people to buy in, to support their cause. They are very good in selling their ideas. They want as many people to support the cause. So, for example, this President Ruto would fall into this because he is a magic in selling an idea, bottom up economy. He wants to make sure that as many Kenyans buy into his idea. Even when the idea is failing, an influencer would always have a way of explaining himself, why the idea is not working and why we should still stick that idea. Remember, an influencer is that somebody who believes so strongly about the idea and passionately coupled with what we call inspiration. It breathes in possibility and confidence. And when an influencer actually hires an innovator or actually hires these analytical problem solvers, then when they come in on board, you can imagine the kind of influence and greatness they can do into this world. And so it is very important as a side advice that kind of a category that we would look at, according to scholars, is what we call Cherry Strauss. Cherry Strauss actually has a 5. He talks about adventurer. This is somebody who is confidently and optimistically follows the intuition. For them, they believe in their intuition. They believe once an idea comes to them, they follow it. Then they make decisions quickly, sometimes too quickly. If you have a boss who is an adventurer, I'm telling you, he or she makes decisions in a quick succession. With adventurers, and I've learned a lot of business people, a lot of pastors, are adventurers. They make the decisions so quickly before you are able to catch up with this one. Yes, made this other one, and so you need to keep the pace. Okay, the problem with them is that they make because of making decisions too quickly, they give retro thought to their decisions, and so sometimes they will decide and undecide. And so they make one decision, then they will unmake that other decision, and so there's a lot of messes. And so they need somebody who is a little bit stable, like the analytical. The second character is what we call it's what we call detective. This one is